So once you've completed experiment 2, what I've done to record my results and do my calculations is, again, I've cut and pasted the table from the Google Word document into an Excel spreadsheet. Then what I've done is I've recorded, whilst I was watching the experiment, what the mass was at the cathode at the end of the time, and I've worked out what the mass of the metal was deposited at the cathode. Then to fill in the charge, I worked out the charge by multiplying the current I used by the time, and I kept the charge consistent between the 4 experiments. The next table next column I need to fill in is the moles of metal deposited. So to work out that, I need to go to my periodic table and find out what the molar mass is of each of those metals. Okay, so I need to find out what silver is, what copper, iron, and aluminium. So I need to work out how many moles of the metal was deposited. So I know that with my silver, that I had 0.54 grams was deposited. So I'll divide that by the molar mass, which is 107.9. Okay, and I get my result. Okay, I need to do the same for copper. So I know that 0.16 grams was deposited of copper, and the molar mass is 63.5, and enter. I'll do the same for iron. I had 0.14 grams deposited. Divide that by 55.8, which is molar mass. Okay, and the last one, aluminium, I had 0.09 grams deposited. Divide that by 27, and that's the amount of moles that was deposited onto the cathode. Next, I need to work out what the charge was required to deposit 1 mole of metal. So a charge of 480 coulombs deposited 0.05 moles of silver onto the cathode. Okay, if I look at my copper, I had 480 coulombs deposited 0.0025 moles. But I need to work out what the charge is to deposit 1 mole. So what I'll do is I'll do equals 1 mole divided by how many moles I had. Okay, and I'll put that in brackets. What's it doing to me? What is it doing to me? Okay, 1 divided by the number of moles, and I'm going to multiply that by the charge that I had. Okay, and that will tell me that the charge required to deposit 1 mole of metal will be 95,911. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go down to the bottom right hand little green square, and I will drag that down, and because it's the same formula for each one. Okay, so once I've worked out the charge required to deposit 1 mole of metal, I am then ready to create my graph. So to create this graph is a little bit trickier than experiment 1. So what I'm going to do is I've just created a little table down here just to make it a little bit simpler to explain. So I've got my electrolytes down here on my left, and I'm going to fill in the missing gaps. So I worked out the charge required to deposit 1 mole of metal for silver was this. I'm going to just cut and paste that. Paste, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, so it just pastes the values. Then I know it's 0 moles, it'll be 0 charge required, and then I know at 480 charge I had 0.05, so I'll copy and paste all these results down. Okay, I'll do the same for copper. That's 480. Paste this. Okay, so I'm pasting all those across. Okay, nearly done. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Down. 480. Okay, so that's all my values across. So now to create this graph, what I will do is I will graph the silver nitrate first. So I will select that data there. So I've got the charge required against the number of moles. I'll go along the top, insert, and I want to insert a scatter. Okay, so I'll select that. Where's it gone? There we go. Then what I will do is I'm going to put in my axis titles, and I'm going to include a legend as well. Okay, and if I select that, yep, that's fine. Now, this is just showing so far the silver nitrate. What I want to do is include all the other ones. So if I right click on this data point, I can go down here to select data. Okay, so what I did was I went to this data area, right click on my mouse, select data. Once I'm there, this box will open up, select data source. I want to add some new series. So I will go add. Okay, I'm going to call this one copper nitrate. It's not going to let me do the subscripted things. Then I want to select my X values. Okay, so that will be here, back there. My Y values, back, and I will click OK. And we can see that just in the background there, it's added my copper nitrate. Okay, then I will do the same. I will add another series, and this time it will be my iron nitrate. 3, 2, my X values are here. Select those there. Then I have my Y. Click on that little box, highlight them. Okay, and I will go OK. Okay, then I've got my very last one, which is my aluminium. 3 X values, so select here. I'm going to select the charge required. So my X axis and my Y axis is the number of moles. Select there, group in, OK. Okay, and then I'll just click OK. So that has added all of that data for me. I can just rename. Should have renamed that series 1 whilst I was there. So series 1, edit, call that silver nitrate. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that's added all of those for me. Then again, just the same as we did previously, we're going to add in our titles. So we can have, what do we call it here? Charge required to deposit 1 mole of metal. Then up here, always. There we go. And we are going to call that one number of moles. So we'll go of metal deposited at cathode, and that is measured in mole. Okay, oh, and I've got my units down here too. That always helps. So charge, we'll just call it, actually we'll just call this charge. I've changed my mind. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to give it a chart title. I'm going to call this variation with charge of amount of metal in moles formed at cathode, if I can spell correctly. Formed. Okay, there we go. And that is our graph completed for experiment 2. So I would cut and paste that across and insert it.